Hi people, welcome back to your channel Dream for Journey with Arpita. This is your host, and now we are going to talk about the final segment of Bonus Q documentary that we have curated. I know the videos were too long, but it was necessary and it was important for you all to understand Bonus Q from a different landscape or from a different light altogether, because all this while we have only heard people talking negative about Bonus Q, but I hope these documentaries will change the mindset of the people of what Bonus Q actually is. In fact, before we even begin, I think 2 days ago only there was a chat. There was somebody who actually messaged me on my G chat, and he said, "Arpita, like, when did you stop hating Bonus Q?" I was like, honestly, the day I realized that Bonus Q never really ends, and I think even today experienced consultants use it, and because even today customer journeys moves into it. Even today the relationship begins there. The only difference is today I no longer measure Bonus Q by today's booking, rather I measure it by tomorrow's relationship. Because if you actually see, one of your today's conversations may become your next year's referral. One of your today's follow-up emails can become a customer who books every family trip with you. In fact, one thoughtful voicemail can become a customer who recommends you to 10 more people. And once I understood this, Bonus Q stopped feeling like work. It's rather started feeling like an investment, because every conversation became like a seed. Some grew immediately with your immediate sale, some took months, some took years, but every single one had the potential to grow. And that's exactly how businesses are built. Now, if you remember the last video, we had ended up that why Dreamport doesn't allow people to work, one consultant to work on one lead, like one customer, because I've already spent so much time. I've had so many so many minutes of I had such longer conversations with the customers and everything. In fact, people who are on live call would understand, if you don't do proper follow-up or everything, the lead gets reassigned to somebody, the lead gets given to somebody, maybe within your team, maybe outside your team. And then people always fight this, that why is it that it was my lead, I was talking to that customer and all of things. For almost 3 years, I also used to ask this wrong question, that why does Dreamport allow multiple consultants to work on the same customer? Actually, honestly, because earlier I used to think that the system was unfair. If I had spent days speaking to that customer, working on that lead, sending him pro quotes, or sending him price quotes, or follow-up emails, email conversation, voicemail and everything, then why should somebody else make the sale? And imagine if somebody else had already worked on that customer, why should I work on that lead? Because that, like, to me it did not make sense that I'm just doing like a cold calling kind of thing. And it felt strange until one day I actually completely changed the question. Instead of asking who owns the customer, I started asking that who does this customer belong to? And that answer completely changed the way I look at Bonus Q. Now, if you actually see, when you first join Dreamport, we unknowingly become possessive, like it's my customer, my lead, my booking, my sale. And I used to think exactly the same. In fact, I remember a time when one of my leads was assigned to somebody else in my team. I literally fought with my advisor Ocean that why was my lead assigned to somebody when I was working. Like, I was literally possessive because it was the initial days. And like I said, I used to think exactly the same. But after having hundreds of conversations, I realized something, that customer was never mine to begin with. The customer only belonged to his own journey, right? We were simply invited to be a part of it. Now, sometimes we are invited just for one day, sometimes maybe for one month, sometimes for years. The customer decides the timeline. It's not us. And I think that one thought removed so much frustration from my career, because I remember the day I was fighting with Ocean, and Ocean told me that, Arpita, tell me one thing. Did you even know this customer before this lead come to you? No, right? So, because the customer is not answering to you now, you have already called so many times, let somebody else do it. Maybe you never know, we might get a sale. And if there is a sale, we can always split. Initially, the idea I didn't like, but eventually when that happened, I liked it, because then I understood that, that's how the ownership transfer takes place. So let's imagine, Bonus Q did not exist at all. Imagine every customer stayed permanently with one consultant. It sounds wonderful, isn't it? But now imagine that this consultant resigns. Like, for example, let's say the lead stays with me and I think of quitting Dreamport, or I fall sick, or I go on leave, or I change shifts, or I stop following up, or I simply misjudge the customer that this customer is not interested, he will not purchase. Now, what will happen? Does the customer's travel dream disappear? Of course not, because they have thought of traveling, so they will travel whether you help or you don't help, or they do it on their own. Someone has to continue helping them, right? And that's exactly why ownership transfer exists. Not to protect consultants, but to protect customers. The customer's journey should never stop because one consultant becomes unavailable. And when I understood this, I stopped seeing ownership transfer as losing customers. I started seeing them as protecting customers' journey. And I think this was the beautiful conversation that Ocean and I had, and this changed my entire outlook. And I think, the easiest way we can explain bonus queue is, it's like a relay race. If you see, the first runner starts, the second runner continues, the third runner finishes. Now, actually, if you ask me who won the race, technically all of them, right? Because without the first runner, the second would have never begun, and without the second, the third would have never finished, right? So bonus queue exactly works the same way. Sometimes you are the first consultant, sometimes you are the last, sometimes you are somewhere in the middle, but every consultant contributes something, even if they are never doing the booking. If you remember my Turkish airline customer or the other customer, there were so many codes sent. So every consultant was being a part of that sale, because how did I read that lead? Because there were so many pro codes, there were so many follow-up emails. So I was understanding the customer's journey, that okay, he's got this, so maybe he's not interested. So you see, every consultant knowingly or unknowingly was part of it, right? So now let's go back everything, what we have discussed in this entire documentary. The first Turkish airline customer, did he teach me communication? Of course, yes. The elderly couple, did they teach me why advisors exist? Of course, yes, because that's where my safety net was there. Did that customer, the Fargo customer, the airport name where I did not know, did that customer teach me curiosity? Yes. The customer from Amman, Jordan, who wanted to go from to Amman, Jordan, did she teach me bassinet seats, long layovers, transit accommodation? Of course, yes. And of course, yes, who can forget Lamezia or, the Palermo? That one customer helped me win another customer 17 months later. Of course, yes. Now you ask yourself something, that which one of these customers actually knew that they were shaping my future? Almost nobody. None of them knew that, they were helping me indirectly. But that is the beauty of the bonus queue. You think you are working on customers, but in reality, customers are quietly working on you. Imagine that 19 bookings customer. How did he turn up? Because it was bonus queue. Bonus queue makes you meet every kind of customers, the difficult one, the angry one, the worst customer as well, even the politest as well, the sweetest customer of all the time, the one who wants to talk to you, endlessly. Like, there have been customers where we have just done the booking in the first 20 minutes, and then they went on talking about so many things, about politics, about their life, about their girlfriends, about their wives, about their divorce. Like, they are going talking endlessly. So these are the conversations that stays with you, not that something which you can measure with the invoice. Now, if there's one thing that I have learned through this entire series, it's this, that bonus queue is not designed to make your life difficult, right? It's designed to make sure that no customer journey is ever abandoned, whether you are with Dreamport, you're not with Dreamport, whether you are on leave, whether you are, you're lacking follow-up, whether you're falling sick or anything. Because like I said, every consultant adds something, maybe it's the information, maybe it's trust, maybe it's patience, maybe it's simply one reassuring conversation. Even if another consultant eventually completes the booking, your contribution still mattered, right? Because customers' journey are rarely won in a single conversation. They are built conversation by conversation, trust by trust, step by step, and that's why bonus queue exists. In fact, when people ask me that, Arpita, in this 3 years, did you change your sales techniques or anything? So when they ask me, what changed after 3 years, was it my sales? Was it my confidence, my communication? So honestly, of course, yes, those things did change. But the one biggest change that happened was somewhere else, my thinking. The way I approached everything, that changed. I learned, I grew. I stopped asking, when will I escape bonus queue? Instead, I started asking, what is bonus queue trying to teach me today? And that single question changed everything, because suddenly now, every unanswered call became patience for me. Every difficult customer became an experience for me that I can come and share with you guys. Every unusual airport became knowledge, because you all don't even know how many bookings I have got from these unknown airport things, from that curiosity. Maybe if I have to talk about, somewhere close to 40 to 50 sales I've got from them just by that curiosity. Every follow-up became relationship building. Every booking became just one part of my bigger journey. And actually, if you're watching this while you're still in bonus queue, I know exactly how you feel. I've questioned the system. I've been mentally exhausted as well. I've wondered whether any of this was worth it. I've celebrated invoices. I've experienced painful chargebacks as well. I have lost leads to other consultants where they have made like a huge profit as well. I have made bonus queue sales. I have had customers remembers me months later. I have had customers refer their families. Customers were unknowingly teaching me lessons that I still use today. And looking back, every single one of those moments started in exactly the same place, that we crave bonus queue, bonus queue, bonus queue. So today, I don't say bonus queue gave me my first sale. Rather, I say it gave me my career. Because sales can come and go, but knowledge will always stay. Customer can come and go, but reputation stays. Invoices can come and go. The consultant you become will always and always stay. Now, the thing is, if you are actually looking at all of these things, that whatever we have spoken about in this last 6 videos, It is basically to deal with a lot of anxiety and everything to do with bonus queue. So eventually, if you now go back to that advert from which I started this video, that how did we join Dreamport, sorry. So if you actually look at that advert, work from the comfort of the home and earn in USD and everything. Now, if you all actually go back to the advert and if you see, the mindset with which we had actually joined Dreamport was to earn money and of course work from the comfort of the home. But if you actually ask me, see, for me, my goal was very clear. I never joined for money. Remember, I just joined to do the training, right? I joined to grow, not the money. Money became the outcome, but growth became the journey. So today, when people see a good invoice, they only see the result, but they don't see the thousands of bonus queue leads that I actually worked on, those unanswered calls, those follow-up emails, the missed opportunities, the failed conversations, the lessons, the patience, the consistency. They don't see the foundation on which I built my entire business here. But I do, because I have lived every single part of it. And that's why I never tell anyone that bonus queue is easy. It is not. I will not lie, but I will always tell you it's worth it. Trust me, it's worth every minute, every second of the time that you spend on bonus queue. Because the person who comes out on the other side is not the same person who joined on day one. So I hope all of these things that have come and I've spoken about bonus queue makes you all realize something very, very important, that bonus queue isn't a stage that you survive. Remember the initial first video where somebody had told me that you need to survive bonus queue? No, you don't need to survive bonus queue. It is not a punishment. It is not a waiting room. It is not free work either. It's the place where consultants become professionals. I have become professional myself, so I know that. Where a lot of strangers have become such good customers, like we can converse hours and hours. In fact, yesterday only I made a sale where we spoke about everything. This customer had visited India, and then we were talking about Mumbai, we were talking about Delhi, we were talking about Malaysia, because I am also traveling quite a lot. So we were sharing the experiences. This is like a stranger who had called me. It was a live call, and imagine the conversation went on for 2 hours. And yes, he did purchase the ticket. He had a family traveling of 5 to Malaysia. And in that entire thing, just random call and all the random conversations, and then we became as if we know each other for so long. So strangers become customers, customers become your return customers become your referrals, and that's where referrals slowly become your own business. And that's why I no longer think of myself as someone who only simply sells air tickets or hotels or cars or anything. I think of myself as someone who helps people travel with confidence. Everything else, maybe the invoices, the commissions, the bonuses, they are simply the outcome of the philosophy that I wanted to grow. I did not want to earn. I wanted to grow. And if I could go back and speak to the version of myself on day one, I would only say one sentence. I would say, stop worrying about your first sale. Stop worrying about bonus queue. Start becoming the consultant. Your first customer will never forget you, because that's the day your business truly begins. And that is where, everything, I hope genuinely these documentaries have helped you to make a better decision on bonus queue. So if you all have watched all the 6 documentaries regarding the bonus queue, I hope that you just don't leave with a better understanding about the bonus queue, but I hope you leave with a different way of looking at your own journey. Because trust me, one day, you will answer a question even before a customer can ask you, even before, customer tells you his hesitation, even before anything, because that's what you'll be prepared. You will recognize an airport. You have never consciously studied about it. You will know exactly when to follow up. You will have customers who ask for you by your name. And you'll have referrals. You will build your own book of business, and one day without even realizing it, you will smile when someone new says, I just want to survive bonus queue, because you will know something they don't know yet. The very thing that they are trying to escape right now might just become the only reason that they succeed at Dreamport. And thank you so much for being part of this entire journey. And if this series actually helped you look bonus queue differently, then please share it with somebody who's exactly where you once were. Because sometimes one new perspective is all it takes to change an entire career. And with this, when people tell me that, Arpita, how do you actually know that you only need to follow up maybe 2 days or 3 days for one particular lead? That's because bonus queue taught me that how the customer sounds interested or whatever it is. Remember that one lead which went to bonus queue, that was my only lead which has ever gone to bonus queue. After that, I had made it a point that either I will close the sale or I will take a no from the customer that he is not interested to go or his trip is cancelled, and I will close the lead, but it will not go to bonus queue, because that ownership is something which bonus queue taught me. So guys, I hope that this gives you a brand new perspective, and y'all just don't survive bonus Q, but rather you'll learn from it. So thank you so much for staying tuned, for staying patient with me for long enough to have this series. And yes, it's not just the end here. We will again come up with something related to bonus Q also. So please stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And we'll meet again in the next one.